What color is the dress? How do you pronounce this word? Is a hot dog a sandwich? The world may never know. But we do know that if Twitter had existed on Thanksgiving Day in 1998, this clip would have been the source of the hottest internet debate on your timeline.
Heads is the call. He said heads.
That's former All-Pro running back and longtime Pittsburgh Steelers captain Jerome Bettis. It's the start of overtime. The Steelers led by 10 at one point in this game, but a strong fourth quarter lifted the Lions to a late 3-point lead. If not for a 74-yard drive orchestrated by quarterback Cordell Stewart, Pittsburgh wouldn't even be in this position, with the score tied at 16 and an extra helping of Thanksgiving football on deck. CBS Sports NFL writer Brian Diardo remembers the moment vividly.
So everybody was locked into that coin flip. It's almost like having emergency surgery that didn't get done in 2 hours. Like, no, we have to keep going. And so you're not going to get up. You're going to be standing there. You very much knew whoever won this coin flip was probably winning the game.
Which brings us to the controversy. Bettis, being the away team captain, is asked to call it in the air. Phil Luckett, the head referee at the Silverdome that day, tosses the coin, and what happens next is pure chaos.
You're changing the head.
The argument continues on the sideline in front of Bill Cowher.
Bettis is adamant he said tails, and so is his teammate and co-captain Carnell Lake. But Luckett obviously heard heads, and their petition falls on deaf ears. While the argument continued over by the Steelers sideline, here's what the fans at home thought they heard.
Tails. That's what I heard. You can't deny that he made a audible sound before he said tails.
Heads is the call. He said heads.
There's no debating. Now, you can debate if he said heads. You can debate if he just cleared his throat. My recollection was tails. Loud enough that it caught the microphone.
While families across the country continued to argue over what they had heard, overtime did eventually kick off, with the Steelers sending the ball to the Lions. From there, Detroit drove into field goal range and ended the game on the foot of Jason Hanson, who knocked a 42-yarder through the uprights, leaving a sour taste in the mouths of Steelers fans as they migrated to their dining rooms for a Thanksgiving Day feast. Now, while eating away your troubles is made easy with a plate full of turkey, and sorrows can sometimes be drowned by a hefty dose of gravy, the sting of such a painful loss was still felt well after the holiday festivities came to an end.
Yeah, I mean, it was anger. It was unbelievable. But it also kind of gave everybody a bonding sense of like, we're all in it together at least. I remember actually I went to the Pitt, West Virginia game the next day. They played on a Friday. And the coin flip, everybody yelled, "Yell tails, yell tails." So it became a thing that you were upset about, but it kind of became a funny rallying cry or something.
The coin flip debacle really did take on a life of itself. 4 days later, the NFL changed the rule, requiring visiting team captains to call heads or tails before the coin toss as opposed to when it's in the air. This prevented a similar controversy from ever happening again, but it did nothing to save Pittsburgh's season. The Steelers were 7-4 entering that game, and the loss to the Lions sent them into a tailspin.
I think that carried over the rest of the season. Once the anger of the extra point or the coin flip went away, then the anger went back on the team. Oh, their offense is bad. Cordell Stewart is bad. All this stuff, and the negativity just ascended upon that facility, and they couldn't get rid of it.
The Steelers ended up losing their last 5 games of the season, finishing with a 7-9 record, good for 3rd place in the AFC Central Division. After 6 straight postseason appearances, Bill Cowher missed the playoffs for the first time as Steelers head coach, and wouldn't make it back until 2001. The rebuilding project ultimately went well, as Pittsburgh eventually found its franchise quarterback and made it back to the promised land, but timing is everything, and you have to wonder how differently things could have been if a reset wasn't spurred by this bizarre moment on Thanksgiving Day, 1998.
Heads is the call. He said heads.